we are with another video. Okay, Melanated Media News, where alternative independent thinking is as simple as breathing. Now, today we have a real interesting study that was released from The Economist on the top 25 countries that are ready for the wave of automation. And I think this is a very important study. And what they used basically to determine the ranking is the innovation environment, the education policies, and the labor market policies. And we'll go back up here. South Korea, as you see, is number 1, and the U.S. is number 9, which is pretty far down the list when you think about it. And the study says that even these countries that are highly ranked, they still have challenges to overcome and to get through. So if you're not even the top ranked, and why is this important? We're looking at a critical eye with we're looking with artificial intelligence at a critical eye. How safe is it? How much will it displace workers and different things of that magnitude? And a lot of this study, it just shows you what I get from this study is that how will the black community, poor communities, how would they benefit from this rise in automation once it comes? Because the U.S. is competitive, they like to compete, and eventually they're going to implement a lot of these policies that we see. So Japan was number 1 as far as innovative environment, and they were number 1. Some of the things that they did was they put basically $817 million into their budget for artificial intelligence development. I don't know how much the U.S. is putting towards that, but that's a lot of money. And we've looking at the robotics cluster, which is 429 companies. I think that's a section in the country that is geared towards those kind of things. Now, to me, this was most important, education policies, because this is going to determine, to me, in a way, how much they plan to include the people and how much they're going to displace workers. The displaced workers, you can say that's last, but these two kind of go hand in hand, the labor market policies and the education policies. And we see how much are they going to put basically an effort to educating people. You see here the South Korea has the Character Education Program Act, which is a strategy for boosting soft skills, cooperation, communication, and responsibility. The third basic plan, science and technology, talent development, 6-point strategy for fostering science and technology talent in the area of globalization. Lifelong Education Act requires central and local governments to promote lifelong education. And when you look at, you see a country like South Korea, and you look at the inner cities of America, and you see we're still struggling to get elected officials into our communities, and we're figuring out as far how we're going to get taxes. We want to raise taxes to get better school equipment, different things like that. It's very difficult subject, and no pun intended, but our schools are failing the children, and a lot of people are turning towards homeschooling, which we advocate on this channel as well. And then here you see the labor force market. South Korea is first, and Germany and Singapore. An urgent need for engagement, even though these top-ranking policies are just the beginning. More engagement between government, industry, educational specialists, and other stakeholders is needed if policy making is to keep pace with innovation and automation. And this is very important because as the prior video to this that was released was about artificial intelligence leading to nuclear war. And, these aren't hotbed topics yet, but they're very much relevant. It doesn't take away their relevancy, their importance. And we need to be aware of, we need to gauge how basically artificial intelligence is being monitored. Is it being tested properly? As you know, the first person was killed last month from a self-driving car, Uber car. So, and there's different debates on how they're going to accurately be able to test it. The sensor didn't pick up the person that was crossing the street, and the car should have stopped. And you see in these commercials now with the car driving, and the people look down and get a cup of coffee, and the person walks across the street and the car stops. But hopefully those things will continue to improve. Just we don't want people to lose their lives. So that's why this is something that we need, because it's going to happen. It's going to become a priority. And we have to at least educate ourselves on how it's coming and what to be aware of, and how other countries are making this a priority. And even them making it a priority, they're saying the technology is evolving so fast that they have to be able to keep up with it. They have to be able to keep educating themselves, educate the society. And the people, the jobs that are going to be replaced fast are the jobs that require repetition, the same thing and different things like that. Repetition as far as, it could be manufacturing, it could be janitorial work, who knows. But there's going to be people that have to monitor that can fix the machines and different things like that. So those may be fields that we need to make a priority and begin to get in. So just a quick video. It's I didn't see this getting talked about a lot, but to me this is a very telling study that the innovation of environment, the labor market policies, and education policies will help determine. And I'm sure a lot of these countries are on the Agenda 21 list as far as countries that maybe want to gentrify, or maybe want to attract tourists, like Brazil, the U.S., Italy, Singapore, India, Russia. So a lot of these companies that BRIC, British India, China. So we're kind of just putting the dots together on this. So stay tuned for more Melanated Media news.